It was very disappointing when Antonio admitted that he had taken performance-enhancing drugs. It was very disappointing for me to have been involved and been on a team where someone cheated. But, the thing that was probably most disappointing was how unnecessary it was. I gave back the medal because I didn't want to have anything to do with a team that had someone who had cheated, as a part of that team. But I was very upset, very disappointed because we didn't need him on the team to win. If you commit a crime, you're not going to tell people. You're going to try to hide that as much as you can. So, the same thing, with athletes who use performance-enhancing drugs. They're not going to allow anyone who's not maybe in their inner circle to know what they're doing. 2 years is not enough of a deterrent. We've seen that. You have people continuing to use performance-enhancing drugs because you could be banned for 2 years and you could go to the Olympics and be an Olympic gold medalist. You could be banned for 2 years and be back for the next Olympics. And that's just not enough of a punishment. You have some people who will make the mistake, and I think that they should be punished, and I think that 4 years would be a more appropriate ban. And if a person they've got to really want to come back, because in a sport like athletics in particular, if you miss 4 years, your career is probably over. But if you really want to try to come back and try to make things right after you've served your 4 years, I'm fine with that. You have to also understand that you're never going to completely eradicate performance-enhancing drugs from the sport and people trying to cheat. That would be like thinking that, there's someday we're no longer going to have crime in society. By and large, most people in society are good people and they don't commit crimes. It's the same way in sports. By and large, most of the people are good people and they don't use performance-enhancing drugs and try to cheat. But you're going to always have a few. It's difficult to say as far as, what type of Olympics we're going to have in terms of performance-enhancing drugs and how many people are going to get caught, or how many people are going to try. It's not the type of thing that you can, predict. You have to look at it this way. Every time someone gets caught, are we happy or are we sad? Maybe both, because I'm happy they got caught. It's difficult for the sport, but we're catching people. So, in a situation like that, it's really, really difficult to, put a finger on how well are we doing. When I visited Kenya a few years ago with Laureus, it was an incredible experience. It's a great project. One of the projects that I think has been extremely effective in helping kids and giving them hope. I visited one of the neighborhoods there that was just the living conditions were unbelievable. I was toured around by a young man who was the director of the project there, and he pointed out to me where he used to live, and I didn't imagine that he actually had lived there. And so these kids, as opposed to someone who's come from the outside to come in and direct this project, can see that, this is a person who's exactly like me, grew up exactly where I grew up in the same conditions, and this is someone who has risen up and who has benefited from the program, and that they can see as someone that they can aspire to be like, and it's not a stretch. I think that what we're trying to do at Laureus certainly resonates with people in terms of the values that kids can learn from sport, the power of sports to change people's lives for the better.